Greetings, family. Peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru. Thanks for watching. So, what this shocker is, most college students think America invented slavery. Well, family, in my view, America might not have invented slavery per se, but it sure has perfected slavery. So, let's go to this article. It reads between 60 and 70% of American college students cannot name a country besides the United States which has had slavery, according to James Duke Pesta, an associate professor of English at the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh. He recalled asking students a few basic questions over an 11-year period and noticed an increasing ignorance of history coupled with a liberal slant. He continues, quote, I gave surveys over an 11-year period, and one of the questions was, name a slaveholding country other than America, either before the founding or after. Maybe 3 or 4 out of 10 could name one, unquote, Pesta told PJ Media in an interview Thursday. The students seemingly thought America uniquely invented the institution, not just its racial overtones. So let's again cover this last sentence I just read. It reads, the students seemingly thought America uniquely invented the institution, not just its racial overtones. Well, again, America didn't uniquely invent the institution per se, but it sure has perfected the institution of slavery and certainly, matter of factly set up slavery based on skin tone. Based on skin tone alone. Whereas, if you've read anything about ancient history, especially since the Eurocentrics and the white supremacists like to bring up slavery in Africa, they can never compare the two. You see, the slavery that Africans had, you can well read where slaves were able to not only buy themselves out of slavery, but they were also able to excel in society. Excuse me but they have been able to excel in society. That is not the case in this slave-holding, slave-loving, savage country that we call America, which is our home. You can't compare your slavery here to the slavery of anyone else. You perfected slavery based on a brutal, evil system of inhumanity and barbaric behavior. You cannot compare your slavery to any other slavery. And by doing so without giving your students the full scope of the story, you're just throwing out propaganda. You're just teaching people your BS. You're certainly not teaching the truth. So I'm going to continue, family. While currently at the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh, this professor has taught Western literature at seven different universities and has given such quizzes to students at Purdue University, University of Tennessee Martin, Ursinus College, Oklahoma State University, and his current school. At all of these colleges, he discovered a similar ignorance about slavery and an emphasis on the evils of the institution in the United States. Quote, we have so made American slavery the focus of our history education that most students have no idea that slavery is a worldwide phenomenon, that people of all races across the world have practiced it. So, before we continue on that, let me further state that you would think that white Americans with such high IQs that they would not have instituted slavery, especially after the story that they've spoon-fed you. Black man, black woman, black child. They've spoon-fed you that in your Christian Bible, it was Pharaoh who was brought down. It was Pharaoh who was brought down because why? Because he did not let those slaves go, let my people go in Egypt. The so-called story is Pharaoh enslaved these people, and because he would not let these people go, well, God came in and crushed Pharaoh to his knees. Not only that, but I believe the scriptures say that your future generations would be afflicted because of this. Now, if I'm wrong on that part, forgive me, family, but I believe that's the way that part goes. But anyways, the point is that you teach in your Christian Bible that Pharaoh is brought down because of slavery. I believe it's in Revelations. I'm not positive about that, but you teach that, and then you turn around and create the slave system in the United States, the Atlantic slave trade. You participated in and created the demand, and then you also try to blame the victims. So you tell the story that you went to Africa and you just found all these black people selling each other. Well, number one, that's false. This is just your propaganda. No, you forced those people with your guns and with your might, remember? Tell the truth, shame the devil. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. So, it was through your arms that you were able to carry this out. As a matter of fact, because you remember what happened when white people tried to take over the Zulus. Shaka Zulu kicked that ass. White folks were murdered left and right. You never tell that story either, do you? Shaka Zulu, yeah, I know. Exactly. That African warrior, that African king did what was necessary. But I digress. Let me get back to the story. It says, quote, we have so made American slavery the focus of. I touched on that part already. Oh, yeah, what I was saying is how they teach in the Bible how Pharaoh was brought down, but then they turn around and institute slavery in the United States. That's just so that's a hypocrisy. It's like staring you in the face bullshit. It's like, how can you guys teach that in your Bible and then you turn around and institute slavery in the United States? It's just, it's such shit. It really is. If people just open their eyes, I just wish people would. But anyways, it says, and that wasn't the only major flaw in their knowledge. Students could not identify Thomas Jefferson as a president and could not explain Marxism, socialism, or capitalism in a sentence. Perhaps, ironically, in one quiz, 29 out of 32 students knew Jefferson owned slaves. But only 3 identified him as a president. Interestingly, 6 of them incorrectly believed Ben Franklin had held that office. So in discussing the quizzes afterwards, the students came to the recognition that their views of many of these events of the founding fathers of their country, of capitalism, were so one-sided they couldn't see another side. That's what I found so disturbing. I repeat, came to the recognition that their views, white supremacy, of many of these events of the founding fathers of their country, of capitalism, were so one-sided. They couldn't see another side. That's what I found so disturbing, unquote. That's exactly what the problem is with the United States of America. That's exactly one of the major problems I see with white culture. Okay, so when he tells students that slavery is not unique to America, quote, they are quite bewildered. Some of them are skeptical, but he recalled one comment over any other. Quote, the one thing I hear a lot that I'm most proud of is how come nobody has ever told this to me before? I've been in school 20 years, but nobody ever taught me this before. While some students do not believe him, Pesta noted that there are enough kids who are generally disappointed when they realize that the view of history they've been taught has been one way. Pesta did not complain that the students would criticize Western culture and history, but rather that they were ignorant of it altogether and that their ignorance had a profound political slant. Before the early 2000s, the professor told College Fix his students, quote, blissful ignorance was accompanied by a basic humility about what they did not know. But since the early 2000s, he increasingly witnessed a sense of moral superiority in not knowing anything about our racist and sexist history and our biased institutions. Family, I really appreciate your patience with me on this vlog. I'm really tired. It's really early in the morning. I've worked a full day last night, and I took a nap, and I haven't been sleepy, but I'm really tired now. So I'm going to end this vlog here, but I'm going to end it on this note. With that said, I want to bring up one other point. Wow, maybe I'm going to save this one. I know I do that from time to time, but I think I'm going to include this one point in this here, and I'll just make another vlog later with more details about it. But let me just include this in this post here. The professor talked about slavery and how the students were lacking knowledge and how they were ignorant of the facts. Let's throw this in there. Why don't you guys ever teach the world about white slavery? Why is that? White people enslaved other whites. How come you never teach that in your history classes? Why don't you ever discuss white on white slavery? It surely existed. It sure has. Oh, yes, when I get time, then yes, I will do a vlog just about that. Until that time, though, family, thank you for tuning in. This is Guru. I really appreciate you watching. I appreciate your time and support. Until next time, peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru, and I'm out.